morning, everyone. There we go. My name is Ira Blackwell, and I'll be the host for this ceremony today. And I'm honored to welcome you all to the third annual CAST White Coat Ceremony. Hosting this event today means a lot to me because 2 years ago, I was standing on the same stage at our first ceremony. And to see me here now hosting this is a full circle moment. This event represents more than just receiving a coat. It symbolizes your commitment to serve, to lead, and to begin a journey of becoming the next generation of healthcare professionals. Today we have an amazing lineup, inspiring speakers, a pre-up this panel discussion, and of course, the official donning of your white coats. So let's get ready to celebrate the future generation of doctors, nurses, veterinarians, biologists, medical technicians, whatever you could think of in the future of healthcare. Before we begin, I do want to make a couple quick announcements. We have sponsorships, and a lot of people care to help us today. We have Christiana Care, we have Dimer Program with the Delaware Health Alliance, we have Focus Pharmacy, Agilent, Bay Health, and I have my own platform as well called the Pre-Health Plug, which if you take a picture of the banner and post it to your story and tag the Pre-Health Plug, you have a chance to enter a $100 giveaway. So now, it's my honor to welcome to the stage the Dean of the College of Agriculture and Science Technology, Dr. Sharice Winstead.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, we're going to need way more energy than that. If you knew all the work that the team put together to get you here today, you would be standing up and giving your own selves a round of applause. So would you please do that for me? Because students, you worked hard to get here. Stand up for yourselves. And the reason why we are applauding you is that you did the hard work to get here, right? So you've chosen a profession that not many have the courage to pursue, right? And we really want to make sure that we take this opportunity to, one, we understand that white coat ceremonies are ceremoniously at the end of your medical journey before you start your career in the medical profession. But years ago, President Allen had a conversation with me and he said, Sharice, we need to find a way to create a community of our future healthcare professionals. What should that look like? And just a couple of years ago, we thought about why are we celebrating our students at the end of their medical journey before they go into their professional career paths when about 90% of you aren't there anymore? Why not celebrate you at the beginning of your journey, create a community for you, create the network for you, and support you so that all 100% of you make it to the end of that medical journey? Now, do you get the point? Okay, so that's the real reason why we're here today. That's the reason why we're giving you the white coat at the beginning, is for you to create your identity in your health professions. You need to see yourselves in your future healthcare profession at the beginning, not the end, right? So when you go to lab, and you're going to bio lab, you're going to chemistry, you're going to your favorite organic chemistry class, laboratory, we need for you to wear the lab coat, and we need for you all to support and help each other, right? So you need to start looking at yourselves as a community. We're going to surround you with all the clinical shadowing, your mentors. We're going to give you the letters that you need for your pre-med, whether it's a dentistry school, vet med, whatever your heart's desire. We are going to surround those resources for you, but we need for you all to work together to make sure that not one of you fails. We're going to make sure academically and professionally you're prepared, but we understand the importance of that peer relationship, okay? So when you're wearing the lab coats and you see yourselves in lab, it's because you're a part of a community. And so years ago, when President Allen came to me and he talked about the importance of the healthcare profession, we went statewide to figure out what this needs to look like in the state of Delaware. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The dimer boards, those participants that sit on that dimer board and those guaranteed slots for you to attend med school. Many students don't understand that when you attend Delaware State University, you have guaranteed slots to Thomas Jefferson, right? So if you think about that, all we ask is that you make it to your senior year and you have a stellar GPA. We're going to make sure that happens for you, but we want you to understand the opportunities that are there at the end. All right? So Zaire, and I talk so lovingly about him because listen, when you're here in your undergrad, I know you're going to class, and I know you're going to lab, and I know you're going to the parties and the step shows, but there's also the opportunity for student leadership, and I want you to pursue student leadership. Zaire is that picture image of what that looks like. When President Allen had that conversation with me, Zaire was there, and he actually took the charge as a student to be that ambassador. So the white coat ceremony is the brainchild of Zaire Blackwell. And so now Zaire has graduated, but he didn't want to leave this alone because this is important. He wanted to create this for you. He didn't care about himself, but he wanted to create this for you. So Zaire created the white coat ceremony, and that's why he's what we call our graduate ambassador. So he's coming back, and he's actually employed here by Delaware State University to assist and do this for you all. So thank Zaire Blackwell on your way out from the ceremony. So if we could just advance to the one slide, I just want you all to see the folks that have come to the table to talk about their professions. We thought it was very important this year for you to hear the voices of those healthcare professionals. All right, so we'll be welcoming up our fire chat panelists. So if you all could come up to the front, and we'll have you each individually introduce yourselves. Zaire is going to introduce you.
So yes, first up we have Dr. Caress Spencer. Dr. Caress Spencer is a board-certified anesthesiologist and design strategist who blends medicine, business, and innovation. A Hampton and Boston University alum, she's practiced at major hospitals, advised federal agencies, and now leads her own consulting firm focused on health and design strategy. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Caress Spencer. Next, we have LaKenya Jordan. LaKenya Jordan serves as Deputy Secretary of State for Policy Planning and Implementation. For the state of California, with over 15 years in public service, she leads statewide initiatives promoting equity, wellness, and access while mentoring rising leaders through Health Talk 360 and She Shares. Welcome to the stage, LaKenya Jordan. Dr. Derek Jones Jr. Dr. Derek Jones Jr. is a veterinarian and consumer safety officer with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. A graduate of Tuskegee University, he also holds a Master of Public Health and serves on multiple national veterinarian associations. He's passionate about animal health, food safety, and community service. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Derek Jones Jr. Next up, we have Dr. Charis Allen. Dr. Charis Allen is a Delaware native and proud dentist at Smile Bright Dental Care. After earning degrees from the University of Delaware and Rutgers School of Dental Medicine, she returned home to care for her community and inspire the next generation of Black health professionals. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Charis Allen. Next, we have Dr. Taquina T. Warren. Got you. Dr. Taquina Warren is a Smyrna native and pharmacist who owns Focus Pharmacy, a community-based pharmacy specializing in diabetes care and wellness. A proud graduate of Harvard University, she's a compassionate advocate for patient education and public health innovation. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Taquina T. Warren. Dr. T. Last but not least, we have Alana King. Alana King brings over 20 years of nursing experience and now serves as Bay Health Workforce Sourcing Specialist. Recognized as one of Delaware's top nurses, she's deeply committed to developing healthcare, talent, and advancing community health across Kent County. Welcome to the stage, Alana King. So I'm gonna ask about 4 questions first, and then we're gonna leave it up to the crowd to ask any questions that y'all have. Y'all ready? So the first question would be, what first inspired you to pursue a career in healthcare? And how did you know that that was the career for you? Start from left to right.
It's on? Hi. So, hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. So, like Zaire mentioned, I'm an anesthesiologist, and my background obviously is medicine, and I'm also fellowship trained in critical care, and I have a master's in design leadership as well and an MBA. So, as far as what made me originally decide to choose healthcare, I have a lot of physicians in my family, from radiologists to ophthalmologists to psychiatrists to even another anesthesiologist. So I think I had a lot of family role models that played that role in inspiring me to want to be a physician. And my third grade teacher, she had said to me one day, like, you know, you can be anything you want to be. You can even be a neurosurgeon. So I grew up wanting to be a neurosurgeon for that reason, and went along and I did some programs, I did some research, and once I got to medical school, I decided that I wanted to be open-minded, to not be kind of focused on one particular specialty, but I did my rotations. I realized anesthesiology was probably the best fit for me because of my personality, so it's something that allowed me to be very hands-on. I like to work with my hands. It's very procedural. I'm also very detail-oriented. It was fast-paced. It's diverse. I get to work with a lot of different people every day. I get to actually, from taking care of patients, I get to be exposed to all of the other specialties, being an anesthesiologist. So it actually was like the best of all the different fields that I could have gone into, because it allowed me to work with OBGYNs in the operating room and work with surgeons and work with all the different other special surgical subspecialties. So, you know, that is really something that was important to me. And as far as why I decided to do a fellowship after that, I think I wanted to be able to take care of the sickest patients in the hospital. And so I spent a year at Emory doing an ICU fellowship, a critical care fellowship, where we were taking care of patients that were on heart-lung machines, which we call ECMO. We were taking care of patients that were in liver failure, pre and post liver transplant. Taking care of like the sickest patients. So I wanted to prepare myself to be out in the real world and to be able to take care of any patient that I had come across, which prepared me to be at some of the top trauma centers in the country, including Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta and also University of Maryland Shock Trauma, which I most recently practiced at. So that would be
Good morning again. My name is LaKenya Jordan, and although today I serve as Deputy Secretary of State in California, my journey began with a Master's in Public Health. And you might go, well, how'd you do that? So my focus is on policy and strategy. I engage a lot of community groups and organizations and to help them form policy. So my job is to negotiate with the community, the governor, I advise the secretary, and the legislature on policy shaping. So, and then they tell me to go create the program after the legislation is passed. So to do that, though, you really have to have an understanding and compassion and empathy for people and for who's impacted by what's being created. And that journey began for me as an inner city youth. I grew up in a small town in the Bay Area called Vallejo, California. And our community, like a lot of communities around the nation, was impacted by drugs and violence, and people were being killed. You know, families were being destroyed. Mine was one of those. And so while I loved medicine, I loved science, at the time there was a Surgeon General. Her name was Jocelyn Elders. I don't know if many people in the room remember her, but she's one of the first Black Surgeon Generals for the nation. And she was creating policy at the time, and I thought, oh man, I want to be like that, somebody who actually is at the table thinking about people who looks like me and trying to change communities. And yes, public health and health in general is so key to how we live. It's about our longevity of life. It's about hospitalizations and also access to health care. But before all that, what I learned along the way during my undergrad, trying to get through OChem, trying to get through biology, I learned about something called the social determinants of health. And the social determinants of health have everything to do with about where you live in terms of zip codes, because not every community is the same, right? Some communities don't have access to good food. They call them food deserts. We were talking about that earlier today. There are some places where unemployment is high, education is low, and all those actually, whether you know it or not, play a big role into how sick people get, or whether or not they recover quickly, or if they're in the hospital or not. So while working in undergrad, finishing my degree, I got to work alongside doctors in Children's Hospital, Oakland. And those doctors were actually doing more than just medicine. They were actually advocating at the county levels for funding for clinics. They were working on research, which I got to do too during undergrad. So my path, long story short, led me to a place where I was studying public health out of my undergrad. And through that, I began community organizing. So fast forward all these years later, but it began at a very grassroots level, working with Black Infant Health, working with my university's community advisory board, trying to get people from the community into the university to be part of the conversations. And then I met a Black Catholic nurse who's like, LaKenya, I think you need to think higher than this. And so through her as a mentor, opening the door, she led me to a fellowship with the government for California. I worked now for 3 different governors, including Republicans and Democrats. But I brought with me this wealth of knowledge of not only personal experiences, but having worked with the communities who were impacted directly and seeing the power of those people coming to the table to create the solutions. So now, in my capacity here, I continue to do that. I continue to work with grassroots organizations. And I see public health as like the cornerstone, because it brought it all together for me. It took my passion for science and medicine and then put me in a place where I could actually make a difference and speak the language of boardroom, street corner, and government, right? So that's my story.
Good morning, everyone. Again, Dr. Derek Jones, Jr. My pathway into veterinary medicine began when I was 6 years old in Miss Rice's first grade class, and I was the only one to get the bonus word of veterinarian spelled correctly. So that's where my start began. And then when I was 13 years old, my father and I had a dog that had contracted parvovirus. And I don't know if many of you know what that is, but it's a virus that pretty much destroys the crypts of your intestines. And so you become, or the dogs become, malabsorptive. So anything that goes in comes out. But I successfully saved that dog, and so that heightened my interest in veterinary medicine. And then, as an African-American male, I said to myself, where should I go for veterinary school? And I landed on Tuskegee because, as of right now, only 2% of the veterinary profession is African-American, but 80% of those 2% go to Tuskegee. So, and Tuskegee also has a very proud history of having a lot of firsts in veterinary medicine, such as the first board-certified surgeon, lab animal medicine veterinarian, clinical pathology veterinarian, and so I wanted to be a part of that legacy. So while I was in veterinary school in my second year, the USDA was coming to Tuskegee a lot, talking about different opportunities for veterinarians inside the USDA. And also I was taking classes like epidemiology, public health, pathology. So that began my interest to say, what else could I do with my DVM, my Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree? So I looked into the USDA. I started 6 months after I graduated in 2018, and my title was Supervisory Public Health Veterinarian. So after I worked for a couple years, I said, I'm in public health. I'm helping not only to protect the humaneness of what USDA does with animals, but I'm also helping to protect food safety. As far as with animals that have, making sure that they don't have things like E. coli and Campylobacter and Salmonella. I'm doing all of these things, so why not go and get a degree in it? So then I went back and got my master's in public health and completed that in 2013 and 2023, and having that degree kind of all brought it together to me for me, and I really feel like the work that I'm doing is just amazing work. So that anybody who, because I know there may be some vegetarians or vegans in the room, but anybody who does decide to eat meat, poultry, and eggs, I play a major role in helping that food stay safe. And so I love what I do on the public health side and also as a veterinarian.
We got one over there. Keep that.
All right, good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Charis Allen. I'm a dentist at Smile Bright Dental Care located in Newark, Delaware. My interest in dentistry started when I was very young, just because, well, more so with the healthcare profession. I won't say dentistry just yet. My mom works as an MA, and she was an MA for almost 45 years now. So I'm so used to seeing her working with patients, and my sister followed in her footsteps. She's actually an RN and graduated from Del State from the nursing program. So after I decided that I wanted to pursue a career in the healthcare profession, I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that I didn't want to work in a hospital setting. So once I got to high school, I actually went to a vocational technical high school where you're exposed to a lot of different trades and career paths. And so I went into dental laboratory technology, where you're making dental appliances, and I found a strong interest in that. And usually during your junior and senior year in a vocational technical school, you are allowed to co-op. Some majors require it and some don't, but I chose to co-op so that I can get exposure to the dental field and kind of see what I was interested in. And while I was working there, just as a dental assistant, my boss at the time told me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could just be a lab tech. I'm okay with that, you know." And he's like, "Why don't you be the boss?" And I'm like, "You're right." So that kind of really sparked my interest, and that's what kind of got me propelled to pursue the dental field in the way of becoming a doctor. And then when I really looked around, I'm like, I don't have any doctors in my family. So I knew that I needed to come out of my shell. When I was young, I was very much a quiet, to myself kind of person. It took a lot to get me to do different platforms and to be able to speak in front of people. I was very much the person in the group that was okay being in the back doing all the work, but you go ahead and present it. You go stand up in front of everybody, not me. But you know, I knew that God was calling me to something greater, and I had to push myself out of that place. So I became a doctor.
You gonna speak for me too? No, just kidding. You all right? Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Taquina Warren, affectionately known as Dr. T. I am the owner of Focus Pharmacy, located in Smyrna, Delaware. I started my journey originally in the healthcare profession. Way back, I wanted to be an OBGYN as a little girl. I wanted to be a doctor to help ladies and all that stuff, and then quickly realized that I don't think that I could mess around with blood a lot like that, and I didn't want to lose a patient or a baby. So my chemistry teacher, and this young lady, she probably knows who it is because we went to school together. Ms. Cataldi said to me, "You should look into pharmacy." And I'm thinking to myself, that was the furthest from my mind. What are they doing in pharmacy, right? So interestingly enough, I was able to start working in a pharmacy, and I tell you, that really did catapult my journey to where I am now. Just being able to help people, definitely not with the blood and stuff, but being able to help people, help the community, and then towards the ownership of my own pharmacy, I'm able to help people in a capacity that I can dictate, being the boss, right? Being able to be the boss, and literally have an impact on my community. So I'm pass it over to you.
Good morning again. Again, I'm Alana King, and I would say my journey into healthcare, um, just like Taquina mentioned, Dr. T, um, we both come from the same town. We were encultured in an environment that encouraged us for service. So I've always been someone that was looking for an opportunity to help. I coupled that with a passion and, as she mentioned, educators that encouraged us, saw potential, and the interest for science. So having someone in my life that started to speak into me and let me realize that I see you, first of all, and I see you with a passion, a heart for something. Let me get behind you. Let me support you in that was really powerful for me. I went on to think that I was going to be a cardiothoracic surgeon and save many lives in the operating room through hearts. And that has been my passion, and it continued to be, but just not in the OR. As I went on in my undergraduate studies, still trying to pursue an opportunity within healthcare, within medicine, within helping others. I had a life moment while I was studying as an undergrad at the University of Maryland, and I had my son. And that really called for me to step back and really recognize, okay, what direction am I headed now? And is he coming with me on that journey? Again, still having supported persons in my life that still could see the potential, the passion in me to help others. I was encouraged and directed into the field of nursing, which my son was a big part of me going into nursing to help others. And he was part of my motivation while I studied and while I went to labs for sign-offs and things like that. And he studied right alongside of me. So it was an amazing journey to go through, but it wasn't easy. And I was able to land at an organization where I serve today, and have been with the Bay Health for 25 years and have been very fortunate enough to be surrounded by leaders who, some are in the room today, and colleagues who share the same passion to care for the community in a sense that's unendless and through a source of innovation. So that led me to be able to still stay with Hearts and help launch programs in our organization that this community had never seen before, such as a cardiothoracic surgical department, and opportunities throughout critical care, which is my love and my passion, helping people in their most critical moments. And that's just not the person that's lying in the bed. That's that loved one that's coming to stand beside them just as well. Making that connection with them and making sure I'm caring for them too. But most importantly, letting them know I see them. And finally, like the journey and the stop where I'm at now, it allows me to take all the skills that I've gained as a nurse and a provider in our organization and give that back into the community, whether it's connecting with schools and through programs that help develop the future of healthcare, or just finding opportunities for community members to join our organization through our talent. It's been an amazing ride, and I really appreciate the journey.
Thank you. As you can see, there's a lot of different aspirations of wanting to go into the field of health, so that was really inspiring. Due to time, I'm actually not going to ask any more questions so we can get through all the activities for the day, but I will open up to the audience to ask 1 or 2 questions if anyone has any. I just seen your hand first. Yes, can you stand up? Do we have a microphone? If you could just state your name and your classification, your major, and I would say your future career path.
Oh, hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm a freshman. I'm a pre-vet major. So this question's for you. It's kind of a loaded question, but I just wanted to know, like, when you were applying for vet school, did you make it in first cycle? And if so, what do you think was the strongest part of your application? And if not, what did you do in the time between graduating undergrad and reapplying for vet school?
Okay, you're right. That was a loaded question. But it's not going to be a loaded answer because I did make it in the first try. So I went to veterinary school straight out of undergrad at Virginia Union and started in Tuskegee in August of 2013. Um, I think what helped me the most, because at that point I did not have any um, clinical experience, nor had I taken animal science. But I did have a 3.5 GPA as a biology major, and I did do a lot of research in undergrad. For example, I studied the effects of fetal alcohol syndrome using zebrafish as the model. So all of that combined, and then some other internships I did, like I went to Michigan State and did their summer research opportunities program and did a research program on how prenatal stress could affect obesity in offspring using Sprague-Dawley rats as the model. So a lot of research really probably helped me get into veterinary school. And then at the time and still today, there are not a lot of African American males entering into the field. It is highly populated by females. As an example, my graduating class was 66. It was 17 males in that class. So I think that helped a little bit too, but I would definitely say research helped me, and then also being involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, because I was also Mr. Senior my senior year. I was president of Beta Kappa Chi, National Institute of Science. So all of those things kind of helped me in spite of the fact of me not having that clinical experience or taking animal science. So I think if you are trying to get into vet school in your first try, make sure you have those things under your belt, especially if you don't have that clinical science background or experience. And also, if you don't get into vet school your first try, then I would say go and get a master's in public health.
I'll take another question from this side of the room. Anyone?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Aline Meeks, and I'm a physics major. I was wondering for Miss King, do you have any tips or tricks on how you juggled the workload in school as a mom with a young child as well? I have twin boys, and the workload is scary.
I think that there is an excellent question. I don't think that there's a perfect answer, but I do feel as though there are some keys and essentials to making sure to prioritize your family. That has to take precedence. I think to instill the fact that when you are in your academic spaces, you can be whole. You want to, in every setting that you're venturing into, try to be present. And it does take a lot of organization and intentionality to prepare for what's ahead. It did call into play real quick for me to get really organized, because I just like to go where I want to go and do what I want to do. But those actions really had to be nurtured in myself, and I had to make sure that I pivoted quickly because life was not going to wait for me. So yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that is all the questions we're going to take right now. But after the ceremony, we will be having a network session. So if you have any further questions, you could go find these panelists and ask whatever question you would like. Thank you. Can we get another round of applause for all our panelists? Thank you all for being here today. You know, they're all busy: doctors, veterinarian, public health, secretaries, pharmacists. You know, they all have busy schedules. So for them to be able to come here today to speak with us, we really appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. We also have guests for y'all over there as well. So now, y'all are free to go. Yep, y'all are free to go. And we're going to go ahead and continue with the ceremony. I will now welcome to the stage Mr. Eric Morgan for the introduction of the White Coat ceremony.
All right, good morning. All right, so really quickly, just a quick reminder to all of our students, our panelists will be here after the ceremony is over. So please make sure you come up, introduce yourself, get information, fellowship, okay, and make those connections, because this is what we are doing this ceremony for. Now, before I proceed with my part of the show, which is probably the best part, no, I'm joking. I want to take an opportunity to bring up President Dr. Tony Allen to give responses to the students, and we will proceed right after his response. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. It is a great day to be at Delaware State University. I came from the College of Business, where there were 700 students talking to about 20 corporations about their future opportunities. Then I come here, and there are about 200 students who are getting ready to get their white coats in a significant underrepresented field. I went out to go to the restroom. There are 300 students downstairs who are interested in coming to Delaware State on a humble Thursday. And I say all that to you all to express a couple of things, particularly to our students. If you would, students, just indulge me for a second. Just look around. Just literally take a look around. I defy you to find 3 other institutions in the country right now that are doing a ceremony like this. That's just how important you are. Just how important the moment is. And I mean institutions. I don't mean other HBCUs. I defy you any other college or universities that are having a moment like this. So I'm completely proud of you. I'm completely proud of our panel, particularly one in particular, Dr. Spencer, who happens to have her parents here. I just want her parents to stand as well. They're all Hampton graduates, but we let them come anyway. But it goes to what's possible when you have some folks around you. And my sense, I don't know about your backgrounds and ability, but my sense is we all come from different backgrounds and abilities. Some of us, grade 2 parent homes. Some of us, grandmother raised us. Some others, single parents. Some mentors and coaches and friends. But guess what? You've already walked through the door. So no excuses from here. And that is not just for you as you get your white coat. It is for you as you travel down the road of life. Because regardless of the titles that you have in front of your names, and I'm sure you will all have doctor titles in front of your names, it will be about what you contribute to the folks you left behind and the communities you serve every day. That's what makes Delaware State University special. That's what makes you special. And that's why I am extraordinarily proud to be here at this moment. And to be clear, Dr. Winstead gave me some credit, me and Zaire some credit for starting this initiative. Be clear. I said, tell me the history. Just a few minutes ago, I said, tell me the history of how this all started. She said, Dr. Allen, you gave me this idea. I said, I did? She said, yeah. And then Zaire took it and run with it. Here's what I would leave you with. Because we're all just vessels if we're doing this right. Right? It's not really about any one of us or the titles we have or how much money we have. We're all just vessels. And if we're letting our higher power use us, good things like this will happen. Thank you. God bless you, and congratulations.
All right. Thank you again, Dr. Allen. And I want to take a quick opportunity now to talk to the students, okay? Because as Dr. Winstead stated in the beginning, we are not here to celebrate the end of your journey. This is the beginning. So when we give you this white coat, we want you to remember a few things. Number one, this is not just a piece of cloth that you just carry around. When you put this on, this is a symbol of your commitment to growing, to learning, and contributing to the scientific field. And I say scientific field because I know we talk about pre-med, pre-health. I am a graduate of Delaware State University with my degree in chemistry. Yes, Lord. And I loved every minute, almost every minute of being a chemistry major. And my path didn't take me into the lab. It actually took me into the classroom. It put me in front of students. And I love every minute of being able to teach students what I have learned. That's my purpose. Today, as you get your coach and you put it on for the first time, you are agreeing to pursue your purpose. And you are going to succeed. You don't have a choice. We need every last one of you to excel in your fields. We need every last one of you to help the person that's next to you to be just as successful as you are. Because when my time is done, I want to be able to look back and say that you got it. That you got it. So when you put that coat on, you wear it with pride. You tell people your story. And you make sure that they know the story of Delaware State University as well. So I thank you all for being here. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad that our panelists was here to be able to share some of their experiences with you. Again, please utilize them as a resource. Utilize the college leadership as a resource, as we are here to help you. You all see me. If you don't know who I am, come meet me. I'll be here because Dr. Winstead said I can't leave until you all are gone, so I'll be here. And with that, we want to turn the show over now to Dr. Charlie Wilson so that he can come up and we can actually do some donning and we can put our coats on for the first time. Also, at the end of the ceremony, we have swag bags that are in the back. So students, please make sure that you grab your swag bags and take them with you. And thank you again.
Good morning. Before I do what I'm supposed to do, let me say a few words. This is what happens when Dr. Winstead gives me a microphone. This morning, I felt a sense of pride. I'm a Delaware State graduate, class of 1984, and I started as a phys ed major, just wanted to play sports. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My twin brother came as phys ed major, and I just came behind him a semester later. But I had one good biology professor, Dr. Ofusu, and I did really well in this course. He asked me to do research with him. I became a major and did research. And I like to tell that story because if I had another professor or a less productive experience, who knows what I'd be doing right now. Some of you guys are in classrooms and you don't even know your professor, they don't know you, but you have an opportunity. Now, if you're a freshman, you have an opportunity to make those connections, and you never know what a research opportunity or a personal connection you might make with that professor, what difference that might make in your life. When it comes time for opportunities, professors tend to reach out to people they know. I know this student is conscientious and hardworking. I know this student is motivated and going towards success. So please, sometimes the professor you dislike the most right now is the one you need to really get in their face and make them help you learn and do office hours and those kind of things to help develop a relationship. It's not just about writing a letter or a recommendation at the end of it. It's about getting to know who you are and opening doors of opportunity for you. And also I want to say something about community. The white coat represents, as mentioned, represents a community that you're joining, a proud community of scholars. So no matter what you choose to do right after this, whether it's veterinarian, whether it's medicine, dental, whatever it is, it may be in business or something else, you are part of a community of scholars, and that's important. We all have different backgrounds, as was mentioned, and you can redefine who you are from this day forward, all right? Growing up poor, I grew up poor, working in fields to get school clothes for the school year. I didn't realize how poor we were until I got older, but a lot of you guys come from different backgrounds that are disadvantaged, but you're here, And now your trajectory is up to you. All right. Could all the student scholars please stand? And, and, and I'm going to ask you to don your white coats, and then we're going to read, I'm reading an oath for you to repeat after me. So this time, either put on your own coat or look at your neighbor, your partner in the community, and don your white coats. Remember that once you don your coat and say the words, this is who you are. You are a scholar, a scientist, a budding member of the healthcare or professional pre-health community. All right. You guys can't see it, but you guys look pretty good. All right. So I'll say a few words and just repeat after me. As pre-health professions majors, we proudly stand here today, adorned in these white coats. We humbly pledge to recognize the profound responsibilities of our pursuit towards greatness, maintain a steadfast focus on research and scholarship, collaborate with leaders in our learning communities, provide compassionate care for persons from diverse backgrounds and abilities, aspire to overcome obstacles and shatter barriers, contribute to the advancements in healthcare, be agents of positive change in our respective fields. We pledge to uphold our identity and to honor our families and the esteemed Delaware State University that has shaped our journey. Thank you. Dean, what's that?
All right, congratulations on yet such another celebratory step. Right now, what we want to do is do a fast acknowledgement, so we can advance the slide. We want to share with you our supporting organizations, everyone that was behind the scenes making this happen for you today. These are all of the healthcare systems. We work day in and out. President Allen's at the table. Provost is at the table. We're talking about what healthcare looks like for our entire region, right? So when we're talking about these activities, this is just the first step of what that looks like. But these are all of our supporting organizations that are at the table talking about this on a routinely basis on what this looks like for Delaware State University. Very, very important. We have collaborations with the 15 White Coats for those of you students that are looking for an outreach opportunity. So I know sometimes you have service hours that you need to do. We have an event on Saturday where we're mentoring middle schoolers on what you're doing today. So we have to make sure that we're increasing the pipeline. So that's be happening with 15 White Coats on Saturday. We also have the Black men in white coats. So last year we have some phenomenal footage of Black men in white coats. So we're going to actually have that same footage today. So all of our young Black men that are in our pre-health professions, please make sure Mr. Eric Morgan will take you over to the side and we'll be taking video ops. And then for our female practitioners, our future practitioners, we're also going to take that same photo op out for the young females. But I just wanted to make sure, and also I didn't want to be remiss, Zaire's nonprofit organization that he actually like created this for you all. So his nonprofit is here highlighted with the pre-health plug. All right, that is Zaire Blackwell. All right, so make sure you go to the tables at Bay Health, Christiana Care. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so very much. This year is different. Last 2 years, we bought white coats. And we just commercially found a vendor. This year, we have a Black-owned business that made these white coats, embroidered them for you today. And this is what it really means to bring this back into our community. They are in downtown Dover. So we are impacting our regional economic development as we speak. Are they here in this room? Where are they? Yes, there you are. So very important. This is every year we're scaling what this means. And so thank you very, very much. You will be seeing much more from this company. And actually, I want to have some of our students come and speak to you as well. I think for the next slide is our advisory council, if I'm not mistaken. I think there might be one forward. We want you just to give an eye on what your advisory council is. These are the folks that have committed to working with you from your freshman year all the way to your senior year, so that when you get to that point when you need that letter, they are talking about that relationship that they built with you over the last 4 years. So these are your advisory board. This is your pre-health advisory board council. Very, very important for you to know who these folks are. And without further ado, we will send you right on back to your labs and your lectures that you have for the rest of the day. And then some of you actually have Deep Day. Make sure you register for Deep Day so that you are excused for the rest of the day. It's very, very important. On eNews, there was a registration. Make sure you are registered for that, or you will not be excused. Oh, they want to see the advisory board slide one more time. Okay. So take a picture of the advisory board council. We'll be bringing this back up in student forum. All the young Black men in white coats, please, over here in this corner. Mr. Morgan, if you want to, so you can raise your hand over here. And then the young ladies will be here on the side. And then Mr. Pierce, you want to take one of everyone together. Okay, perfect. You want to do that? Okay, President Allen, we're going to do the one first. Everybody together, right here in front of the stage. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, all students come up to the front of the podium. Oh, we'll do it later. I'll tell Pierce, can you have them do the advisory slide one more time? Just put it in the back.
And if not, just there's still some room on the stage. There's still some room on the stage. There's still some room on the stage. There's still some room on the stage.
And please, everyone, do not forget to visit our sponsors today. We have Christiana Care, Delaware Health Alliance, we have Agilent and Bay Health here. Also, visit the pre-health plug and take a